Good afternoon. It's semi-final day, and if we'd handpicked the last four players, well, it could hardly have been a stronger lineup. We've got the top three in the world, Stephen Hendry, Steve Davis and Jimmy White, with the provisional number 7, Gary Wilkinson, to complete this distinguished quartet. And this is how they line up. Jimmy White plays Gary Wilkinson and Stephen Hendry plays Steve Davis, their fourth confrontation this season. Hendry's list of victims, a mixture of old and new. Alan McManus, the Glasgow teenager, Frankie Chan from Hong Kong, Tony Meo pushed him hardest, Dennis Taylor overpowered. Davis, who's trying to reshape his cue action and rebuild his game, has battled through without finding his best form until yesterday's win over Mike Hallett. The head-to-head shows Hendry 10-7 up. He's taken the last 6 matches.
The ultimate aim is to win. I play Stephen Hendry now in the semi-finals. It would be a nice way to win the tournament by beating Stephen in the semis and possibly, not that I'm wishing Gary Wilkinson any harm at all, going on to beat Jimmy White in the final. That for me would be an ideal way to get back in everybody's eyes to the top. You know,
I love playing Steve, I always have done. You know, I've learned a tremendous amount from him over the years. And obviously lately I've got a good record against him. But it's a new match and both of us won't be paying any attention to them.
Yes, teacher and pupil. It's the best of 17 frames now, of course. The first 4 were pretty even, Davis twice taking the lead, but it was 2-all at the interval. So we'll pick up the story in frame 5. Davis has already had a break of 53, and he's back in, look.
Well, Stephen couldn't get out of his chair quick enough there. He's virtually at the table. Oh, and that could be disastrous for Steve Davis.
Yes, Dennis, there's not a ball on the table that won't pot. It's only a question of minding his work, and he knocks the lot in to win the frame.
Sounds so easy, John, doesn't it? It always is when you're sitting in the commentary box. I've never missed a shot from up here.
Well, that's what I always say, Dennis. That's why I've vacated the table for the commentary box. Much easier up here.
8.
But certainly, with the balls in this position, a player like Stephen Hendry
15.
should knock them in without too much trouble.
Back for the blue again here, I would think.
Well,
he didn't play that one very well. He's put himself under a bit of pressure again. And that's what he thinks of that one. Giving himself a right talking to.
Well, I don't know whether the angle is right, but might do. Well, he's playing the other red. I was going to say if he putted the red in the baulk area there, might be able to get the green into play. Well, if he covers that behind the pink, he's a lucky fella. And that's just what he's done. In fact, I think Steve may be snookered on both reds.
Now then, what does Stephen Hendry do this time? Does he still take the long red on there? These are the ones that he's been struggling to knock in this morning.
One.
No, he's not on the black, so I would think he would go for the snooker here. It's quite a thin snick. I don't know if he can reach round to get at that. The angle's there to go down towards the red, which is the one he's looking at present, but it looks too thin a contact on the black. I think in behind the pink might be the best shot in this position. He's only 18 points behind.
One. Stephen Hendry.
He's left what we call in the game a Chinese snooker. I never know why they call it that. Where you have to strike over the ball. Now then, that's opened the game up completely now. So one mistake could cost either player the frame.
And that makes Stephen Hendry favourite. He's 18 points behind in this frame, but he's the man at the table. Everything out in the open.
Seven. Nine.
And this is the one that counts.
12.
He hasn't got very good position on the brown. Can still pot it, but not as easy as it might have been. No, should
16.
be plain sailing from there.
Yes, John, but
21.
what an absolutely cracking pot on the brown that was. It was a very thin cut. He played that extremely well.
27 and the frame.
And that's all he required, so it's Stephen Hendry who now leads by 3 frames to 2.
And Davis has lost the initiative for the first time. Now he's forced to hang on to his young rival. We'll see if he can.
Now, Safeway gives you extra, free.
The film is in the flowers. 1 hour.
What's the only biological compact recommended by Hoover? Ariel Ultra, because they know nothing cleans better.
If you suffer from blocked sinuses, this is where it hurts. Pressure builds up here, you get headache and pain here. This is where Sinutab comes in. Sinutab clears the congestion here, relieves pain quickly here. Sinutab relieves sinus pain and headache fast.
I don't care! Stupid! Take this!
If you need to replace anything around the home, the Household Money Savers promotion at Argos takes care of it.
Cold weather is hard on your hands, but new Fairy isn't. It washes even more dishes, and it's still as gentle as ever. Stay in good hands this winter.
How do you remember life's necessities? How'd you know the things they all prefer? What tells you what to do to make them warm to you? What makes the meal you cook them cause a stir? Cross and Blackwell.
Try turkey casserole, a great new recipe.
Cross and Blackwell. Today's great tastes.
Crikey, she's definitely got the power. And you could have two. National Power and Powerjet. Prospectuses now available. Offers close Wednesday the 6th of March.
Now, Safeway gives you extra free.
Welcome back to this semi-final. Stephen Hendry extended his lead with a break of 59, so it's now 4-2 to him. And in frame 7, the world champions in action. There's the score.
Well, have a look at that shot. What a putt to take on that was. And, well, he's going to punish Steve Davis, I feel, here. I mean, Steve put the white exactly where he wanted, and Stephen Hendry knocked in that absolutely super red. You can't do anything about that, Steve.
8. $13. 14.
Stephen Hendry regains the lead in this frame. 10 points in front now.
21.
Obviously should finish the frame off. Yeah. A little distraction there. Don't quite know what it was, but
22.
Now that last one, perhaps a little bit kicky, having the cue ball cleaned.
And the other important thing about this frame is they're playing 8 frames this afternoon and a possible 9 this evening, 17. If Stephen Hendry would win this frame, he'd have a 5 frames to 2 lead, and he knows he would go in after the session leading no matter what happens.
30.
Well, no, that wasn't the best positional
35.
shot Stephen Hendry's ever played. He only needs the yellow. And he hasn't got it. If that had went in, he'd have been 26 in front
35.
with 25 on the table.
Stephen Hendry.
Now can Steve Davis come back?
Two.
Well, it's the yellow, green, brown that are the difficult ones. They can knock theirs in. The blue, pink and black are sitting out in the middle there, no problem. Left himself a bit tricky now, though. May not even take the pot on.
Well, if he does take this on, it'll be a great shot because he's got to put a lot of screw on it to come off the side cushion and behind the brown. It's a good shot and probably deserves to win the frame after that.
Nine.
Stephen Hendry will be kicking himself playing that bad positional shot a few shots ago.
Well, that looks pretty good. Needs pink and black.
$20.
A reprieve there for Steve Davis. He takes the frame. He's just one frame behind now at 4 frames to 3.
Yes, classic pinch by the master cueman. One more left this afternoon and Davis is already on a break of 43. There's the score.
Well, it could come back for the red that's on the right-hand side cushion. We shall see.
$50.
Oh, and just look at the cue action of Steve Davis there. You can go right down the cue with him.
51. $58. $59. $64. $65.
And the 65 break at the moment, now the highest break of the match. Steve's second break over 50. Stephen Hendry has had 3 breaks over 50. So although there's been a few shots missed, the standard is very high.
$71.
I'll overcook that one a little bit. That's end of break, I would think. There's still enough balls on the table for Stephen Hendry to win, so he had to be careful. 61 points in front now, Steve, but there's 67 points possible on the table. Looks to be snookered on all the reds but one, the one that's just above the middle pocket on the right-hand side.
Yes, John, and that's the one that I'm sure Stephen Hendry would like to be moved out into the middle of the table. Well, surely Stephen Hendry's not going to take this red on. This is it. If this goes in, he's got a chance. If it doesn't, he'll lose the frame. Oh, what a cracking pot that was. Well, that's amazing. Under so much pressure there, and he knocks that in.
Six.
Yes, that was absolutely incredible, Dennis, wasn't it? The cue ball was only 6 inches away from the baulk pocket there. Awkward cueing.
7.
What a fantastic potter this young man is. Well, 61 behind when he started, but he's in with a great chance here. They're all out in the open.
$14. $15. $22.
Oh, Steve having a sip of water there, long way in front, but he knows in this frame he's second favourite.
23.
He's sitting down and his opponent is at the table.
$30.
Now, this is the next shot here coming up is the one. I may have to screw back. I don't think he's got the angle to force it. Might have to force it down for the yellow. Yeah, he surely had.
$38.
And this has been the frame of the match so far.
40. $43.
I was just thinking, John, there's not many times you score over 70 points and lose a frame. But the man in the background there
47.
looks as if he's going to do that. I'm sure he thought he was level at 4 each.
Well, he was quite entitled to think that, of course, Dennis. But what a fantastic first red it was to enable
52.
this fella to get in to make this break.
Yeah.
Still needs the black there. Hasn't got quite the angle on the pink that he would have liked. Playing this with left-hand side.
58.
Bit close to the cushion. Not an easy black by any means. But in it goes, and it's Stephen Hendry who leads by 5 frames to 3.
What a prospect that match offers tonight. I can't wait. But you know, there's an equally good one taking place on table 2 between Jimmy White and Gary Wilkinson. Jimmy having his best season at 28, back up to number 3 in the provisional rankings. Gary, 4 years younger.
And all because the lady loves Cadbury's milk tray.
Hey everyone, collect special wrappers from Post-it notes and get a free comic relief mug with a nose as red as this. Now!
Sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very impressive turnout. In fact, the only person I can't see here is the ambassador. Ah, that's better.
What the devil do you think you're playing at, Latham?
I was about to ask you the same question, Ambassador. Yesterday, you collected rather a lot of money from this man, and today we hear you are to meet a courier in this very embassy. That, Ambassador, is the behavior pattern of a mole.
It is the behavior pattern of a man who has lost his Barclay card. First they send emergency cash, then a replacement card.
Oh, come on, Mr. Moley. Yes, Bob, let him in, the more the merrier. A Barclay card. To Moscow. And how do they do that, pray? By motorcycle messenger? Thank you, Sir Wilfred, for taking part in our training exercise. Realism is obviously of paramount importance. Come on, Bob, untie Sir Wilfred.
Now you know what an oil has to go through. Why chance anything less?
Now there's a TV magazine that's like all these put together. TV Plus for 45p.
You walked into the party like you were walking onto a yacht. Your hat strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarf, it was apricot. You had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself go out. And all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner. They'd be your partner. And you're so vain. You probably think this song.
For a free guided tour in your own car,
Passing the 13th century native Welsh stronghold of Dolpadach.
look for talking maps in the Daily Telegraph.
Through the ages, the faithful hound has delivered the news. Never, rarely distracted, ever loyal to his master.
Pop it in the basket, son. I'll read it later.
through hell and high water. Yes, it's been a dog's life. But today, the latest news, sport and travel can be delivered at the touch of a button with Oracle.
The ultimate newspaper.
Steve Davis fighting tooth and nail in his first session with Stephen Hendry. It looked odds on he'd levelled the match. Surely that was safe.
Oh, what a cracking pot that was.
The shot of the week by the world champion, and with the bit between his teeth, he took full advantage, following through with a devastating clearance.
Not an easy black by any means. But in it goes, and it's Stephen Hendry who leads by 5 frames to 3.
Meanwhile, in the other semi-final, Gary Wilkinson was playing like a dream against Jimmy White.
The nerves will be jangling just a little here. Just got to compose himself.
132.
A black for 139. The highest break and possible prize of £5,000. Tremendous break. But not only that, he wins the frame and now takes the frame score to 5-2.
He'd had enough of sitting in that chair. Jimmy stung into action, and that's when he's dangerous.
So, the black to make 101. Great stuff. So, a back to form Jimmy White takes frame number 8 and now trails 5 frames to 3.
Welcome to semi-finals night at the Pearl Assurance British Open. Both matches offering a wealth of possibilities, stretched as they are now over 17 frames. Could Steve Davis end his 6-match losing sequence against Stephen Hendry, or would the Scot make it to his 8th consecutive world ranking final? Was another title on the cards for Jimmy White to send his season's winnings beyond the $500,000 mark, or could Gary Wilkinson shed his semi-final blues after 4 near misses? All the answers coming up, and it's the Hendry-Davis story we follow first. As we see from the runs over 30 in the first session, Stephen wasn't that superior to Steve. The difference was that Steve lost both frames in which he made his half-centuries. While Hendry was quickly into his rhythm with breaks of 55 and 47 to win the first frame of the evening session, Davis countered with 44 to reduce the deficit. Now, both players squandered chances of winning frame 11, and it's still anybody's on the final green.
That so very nearly hung on the edge of the pocket. And I think Steve Davis now will stun the white behind the blue. No, he's not. Maybe coming across the table to get behind the black. He's 14 points in front.
3, Steve Davis.
Well, he may be 14 points in front, Mark, but he'd probably be very disappointed with that shot. Wanted to keep the brown ball safe at all costs. One good pot from Stephen and he could be in business from here, but the problem, of course, is that when you play such a tactical game as a lot of snookers and escapes, that a player tends to get out of the habit of potting.
Four.
He knocked the brown in, but he hasn't judged the pace of the shot. I don't think he'll be taking the pot on. Perhaps trying to screw on the left-hand side of the blue onto the side cushion and behind the black. No, he's not taking that.
Four. Stephen Hendry.
Well, this is certainly not easy to play safe from. Got to be careful to miss the black. In fact, he may even be tempted to take on the pot. Not quite so difficult for Stephen. He can play the safety shot. A tremendous amount of right-hand side, which checked the cue ball from the baulk cushion. Steve having a look to see whether or not he can pass the pink. Probably can't, but can certainly swerve it around the pink. But we'll be very worried as to where the cue ball and the blue are going to go afterwards. Excellent safety shot then by Steve Davis. He, of course, is leading by 10 points, so only requires the blue, whereas Stephen Hendry requires all three colours. Can Stephen Hendry capitalise on that rather bad safety shot that Steve Davis has played?
5.
And that could prove to be a very important pot. But he's rather straight on the pink. Probably can't get to the right of the black, so I may just have to be content just to roll the pink in and play the black into the opposite
11.
corner pocket. In goes the black. Stephen Hendry now extends his lead to 7 frames to 4.
Well, Davis took the next frame to bring the gap down to 2 frames again at 7-5. So frame 13, Davis has potted the only red, but it's Hendry to play.
Could put Steve in trouble. Well, that was certainly a bold shot there from Steve Davis. Don't think he can get a cover, and I think that he can consider himself very unfortunate if he can't. That looks, you see the picture he's faced with there, but that looks very tight to get by that red to pot the green. Of course, he's got a problem also stretching over the pink, frightened of just touching that with his waistcoat. And there you can see he's very close to it. Referee John Street with his eagle eyes on him. Safely negotiated.
Four.
Oh, that's a super shot from Steve. He's now knocked away the red, which was covering the black. The black is now available. And he could be just a couple of shots away from being in prime position. He's a little bit restricted.
12.
The red just above and to the left of the black is rather close to it. And he's not as straight on this red to the left-hand corner pocket as he would have liked. So he's probably going to go up the table. Well, would you believe it? The pink was ready and waiting to be potted. But that is really a careless mistake. Certainly one that you don't expect from Steve Davis.
Jim, that's probably the worst mistake I've ever seen Steve make in all the years I watched him play. It was such a simple shot, and he was in such tremendous position. And as you said, it's very difficult to understand that it can be carelessness at this stage of a match, but that had to be just carelessness because it was so easy.
Seven. Eight.
Well, Stephen Hendry will be grateful for the fact that Steve Davis did make that miss, because it's led to this tremendous opportunity for him to come back. And the 13th frame, it would be in his mind still that perhaps he should have won frame number 12. But if he can win this, he'll make up for it.
16.
Now he needs to play the cannon onto the 2 reds just to the right and above the black. And barring rather awkward striking, he
23.
should be nicely placed on the black after this shot.
24. $31. 32. 39. 40.
'And that careless miss that Steve Davis
47.
made, which has led to this opening for Stephen Hendry, that could be...
48.
I'm not saying that Steve would have won the match, but that could be the mistake that has really made sure that he's going to lose it. It's a pity, really, because Steve's had a bad time, and against Mike Hallett, he played very
55.
badly before the interval, but played some of his best snooker after the interval for quite some time.
56.
And he's played quite well in this match. And of course, this is the last major tournament in this country leading up to the World Championship. But this young man doesn't make any mistakes when
63.
he gets an opening and needs to get them.
64. 71. 72.
'Well, he's well past the
79.
point now that Davis can't possibly win the frame.
80. 87.
Well, I'm quite sure that Stephen was so annoyed with himself.
88.
The frame prior to the interval that he probably gave himself a strict talking to. But in no way, shape or form did he expect
95.
that Steve Davis, I'm sure, was going to miss that red and leave him this golden opportunity to win the frame.
97.
But snooker being the strange game that it is, that is what's happened.
100.
And of course, now we'll be practically assured in his own mind that he just needs one frame for victory.
109. 109.
The pink ball doesn't matter. Stephen Hendry wins the frame. He now leads by 8 frames to 5, just requiring 1 to go into the final.
Yes, and that was Hendry's 103rd century break in 6 years as a pro and his second of the tournament. But Davis was in no mood to lie down. He won the next frame, so it's 8-6 and extremely tense.
No, thank you. Oh, no, Mrs. No.
No, certainly not.
Oh, yes, lovely, thank you.
There we have it. Proof that smooth, satisfying Panama cigars are definitely not for comedians.
Hey, just a minute. I'm just...
Panama, the serious cigar.
I'm an entertainer.
Terrys have created moments. 5 hexagonal segments of sensual milk chocolate delight. Savor the velvety, smooth caramel. Luxuriate in each delicious hazelnut. Well, either that or wolf the whole lot down in one go.
Sometimes our thought and care seem completely wasted on you.
He's missed again.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. Closer, safer, more comfortable. Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of Gillette Gel, for a shave that is unsurpassed.
Gillette, the best of men.
Total adventure.
There!
Total excitement. Total Schwarzenegger. Total recall.
Bend. Bend. Bend.
Well, Yuri hasn't got the power.
Bend.
Maybe he has. And you could have the power, too. Yes. National Power. And Power Gen. Prospectuses now available. Offers close Wednesday, the 6th of March.
Holler Eurodollar, and we'll be there. And there, and there. To rent a car, just holler Eurodollar, and we'll be there. St. Ivel's shape, soft cheese. Sensationally smooth, and exceptionally low in fat.
This army is over 70,000 strong. This army is trained to the highest standards. This army uses the most sophisticated equipment. This army is the Territorial Army, ready to play a vital, supportive role in times of need. If you think you could play a part in this army, call 0345 300 111.
No, il mondo servito in un piatto.
Free inside tomorrow's Sun, TV Super Guide, a fabulous new TV magazine. What's on, when it's on, Saturday through to Friday. Your free TV Super Guide. Every BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and satellite programme and a mega movie guide. TV Super Guide. Free inside the Sun tomorrow.
Welcome back to Derby. 8-6, Hendry leads Davis then. The pattern has to be broken sometime. Hendry still needs that one last frame to reach the final. In the next, there's no score, and Hendry's at the table.
Well, that one wobbled just a little bit. But what Stephen was allowing for was the fact that the red is blocking the black to the right-hand corner pocket, so he's probably going to play a nice little cannon shot here and hopefully stay on that single red.
Eight. Nine.
Well, a good pot there from Hendry, but this is a very difficult shot that he's taking on. Cracking pot. There's a lot of pressure out there on both
16.
these players at the moment.
17.
I suppose one would have to say that this next black, which is also very difficult, could be the match winner for Henry if he knocks this in and gets onto the red. Tremendous chance now.
24. 25. 32.
Red to the left-hand middle pocket, and will follow through for the blue ball, wanting at the same time to be just above
33.
it to come back to the reds. And they're rather bunched up somewhat, so he may decide to go into the reds and try and disturb them. Now, assuming that that is not touching the other red,
38.
you probably take a red to the left-hand corner pocket, can run off the red next to it, and should have a choice of pink or black. And that's
39.
not worked out quite as planned. He's certainly got a difficult pink, and for that matter, a not too easy black. He's 39 points ahead. And this may be the sensible shot to play. Well, there was no flies on that one. But where he finds his next red from, he may be able to get between the gap from the two reds to the right of the pink and in between the pink.
$45.
It's a good recovery shot, but still not too easy a pot on the black. And he should try to develop the three reds just below the pink. Now then, can he put the red into the left-hand corner pocket? It appears not.
52. Stephen Hendry.
Nevertheless, a very useful 52 break and a 52-point lead. Also with the cue ball in a safe position.
Couldn't do much about that, Steve Davis, but I think Hendry will certainly have a go at this one. Through to the black. Cracking shot. He knew that in playing that shot, the only red that he could leave was the one he was playing, should he miss it. And that takes him 60 points in front.
8. 9.
It's been a brave effort by Steve, but I think that he can see the end come in sight now.
12, Stephen Hendry.
What a miss there by Hendry. I'm absolutely speechless. That really was the match ball.
One.
Davis couldn't get back to the table quick enough. So now, 63 points the difference. Still enough reds on the table.
Five.
Well, with the brown that Steve has already taken, there is still a possible, including the brown, 71 points on the table. Now down to 67. But of course, he's got to cope with the one or two rather badly situated reds. He's going to have to be in a very good position to try to pick them off.
$13.
I think there, Jimmy tried to touch the other reds, but it looks to me now he may have the angle to pop this red to the centre pocket, let the cue ball run into the other two reds and open them. And with a little bit of luck, he could be on the black. This is a very important shot now. Could develop the other two reds here. Absolutely perfect.
Yes, he played that shot exceptionally well. He's 50 points behind, now 43. But more importantly, he's now in a good position
21
to put certainly these two reds. You'll worry
22.
about the final one just to the right of the green. That will probably be the last red. So everything is not lost as yet.
$28. 29. $36.
So this is the red that counts. Stephen will be wondering just how he missed that red that would have practically put him into the final. Test of nerve now. $23 points behind.
$43.
Good yellow, perfectly placed on the green. So even Steve Davis is going to have to hold his nerve, and he can pinch this round.
46. $50. 55.
No doubt he will be reflecting on that red that he missed, and it can have a big psychological effect. But what a tremendous by Steve Davis. All appeared to be lost. A great performance. A tremendous clearance to stay in the match. He now trails by 8 frames to 7.
You get the impression he was pleased to win that. He's back at the table in frame 16. You could cut the air with a blunt knife. It's 4 points all.
Got to be careful with the cue ball here. It's difficult to negotiate a pathway from the other reds. Oh, well.
1.
Would be a tremendous bonus if he could pot the black. But obviously not. So faced with either a long blue to the corner pocket. The other one, of course, would have been the green. That's a terrific pot. And strangely enough, the pressure, I'm sure now, is transferred onto Stephen Hendry. But that was a difficult shot to play. Stephen is under pressure to win the vital frame that he needs, and he's needed that for some 3 frames.
One.
Needs to be straight on this red. The black is only potable into the right-hand corner.
Nine.
Not quite run through enough, but shouldn't be any real problem. Can cannon onto the red just to the left of the black. And of course he's on the one to the left-hand corner pocket now, which makes the black available to both corners.
16. $17.
So that takes Hendry 11 points in front. And again, he'll be looking to win the match from this position. One thing about
24.
this young man, that he really can play under pressure. At times, he sits in his chair looking quite dejected, but I think he actually relishes the pressure games. And certainly I think he enjoys playing Davis. I think they both want to beat each other so badly that they thoroughly enjoy the pressure of it all.
$30. $31. $36. $37.
Well, I suppose Steve is now wondering if he will get back to the table again with a chance of staying in the match. And of course, he can't do anything about it. It all depends on what the man at the table does.
43. 44.
38 points in front. Looks to be nice and straight on the black so that he can just trickle it through and leave the red into the other corner pocket.
Yes, and he's noticeably punched that shot. That gives him just a little bit more confidence. One tends to get the occasional kick
52.
if you play the shot more slowly than that, but he made absolutely certain. He's played that dead weight, used the other red to hold the cue ball.
59.
And looking to see whether or not from right to left of the table
60.
The first red will pass the one that is on the cushion into the left-hand corner pocket, but it looks as though he can run through nicely to play it in the opposite corner.
And applause from the crowd there, realising that was the one that he wanted. Now 61 points in front, with a possible 59 left on the table.
68. 75. 76.
'There's no doubt about it. This young man really can get them
82.
when he needs to. Made a 100 break a few frames ago when Steve Davis missed an easy red.
82.
But that doesn't matter.
Stephen Hendry.
Davis congratulates Hendry. A great effort by Steve Davis, but it's Stephen Hendry goes into the final, winning by 9 frames to 7.
Yes, amazing. He'd done it again. So who would Stephen Hendry meet in this, his 8th consecutive world ranking final? Well, you may remember Jimmy White had gone...
only the 4th on television. James Watanabe against Ken Doherty.